Thanks a lot. A lot has already taken place as far as the IPL mini auction 2023 is concerned. The first time an auction is taking place outside of the country, in Dubai to be precise. I'm joined by none other than former England cricketer Graeme Swann, who was also with us during the World Cup. Swanny, nice to be talking to you again. I hope you've been tracking what's happening in the IPL auctions. How does it look so far? You know, the theme has certainly been Aussies are in high demand. Certainly the ones who made their mark in the World Cup, and Sunrisers Hyderabad have nabbed up two of them. Pat Cummins for a record 20 crore plus, which is the highest IPL price now, and Travis Head as well.
Hey, good morning, Shivani. Hello, India. Yeah, it's been a hectic morning, hasn't it? The one I'm looking at, actually, English perspective, is poor old Harry Brook, who last year went for over £1 million in hard currency, and now he's quartered that. So one disappointing year for Harry Brook, but then a brilliant auction for Pat Cummins and Travis Head. Like you say, that World Cup, that's still fresh in everyone's memory. And then Pat Cummins being the leader, he'll probably lead Sunrisers as well. It's very timely, isn't it? These guys who do well just before the auction, they set themselves up. And yeah, the Australians are they're the hot ticket at the moment.
You know, Sunrisers Hyderabad have almost spent their entire purse. I think last I checked, they were left with about 5 crores still. I'm not sure what else they'll be going for. But look at the ones that they've managed to pick up today. It's 20.5 crores for Pat Cummins, the highest bid and the highest price in IPL auctions now. And not surprisingly, Pat Cummins led as a leader. You know, he did it with the bat as well when the team really needed. And of course, he's amongst the best when it comes with the ball. They managed to get Travis Head, boost their, batting lineup. Not many foreigners that they had in their team. So they've obviously bought a lot of foreigners. And among them is Wanindu Hasaranga. And he has actually been bought by, for a pretty flat price of his base price of 1.5 crores. That would be a steal.
An absolute steal, yeah. I mean, when you are doing this, I don't know if everyone knows, all these franchises, they do mock auctions amongst themselves as well. And they say, if we don't get this player, do we get this other player? And they sit there doing their own mock bidding before the auction takes place, a few days before. I wonder if they said for Pat Cummins, we're taking him no matter what, even if it blows our whole budget. Because it certainly seems like that. They put all their eggs in the Harry Brook basket last year. With Brian Lara as coach, that didn't work out for them. It's like they've just drawn a line under it. Whether it's a panic buy or whether it's saying, no, we're now going to build our franchise around Pat Cummins for the foreseeable future. I always think having the biggest price tag, it proves to be a bit of a weight around people's necks in the last few years. When you think of the guys who've gone for the huge money. Chris Morris a couple of years ago retired after a year. Harry Brook last year had so much money. Sam Curran, huge price tag on him last year. Didn't really do anything in the IPL. So I think Pat Cummins, they probably think that, he has got that World Cup medal. He is a proven leader. He is a very calm, cool head. And he's obviously the way that they want to move forward as a franchise. So I think it's quite an astute move. I can see him doing quite well. It's a perfect ground for him, actually. The ball can do a little bit for when he's bowling, and it's also a fairly good place to bat when he's whacking it at the end. So don't be surprised if Sunrisers bounce back this year and have a very good IPL.
You know, with the kind of buys they've managed in this auction, they certainly should be making some sort of announcement, some sort of, some sort of ripples as far as the next season of the IPL is concerned. Some of the other names, Graeme, that shout out, Rovman Powell amongst the first set, and he was expected to go for a bit. 7.4 crores, not bad for the West Indian.
Yeah, I mean, Rovman Powell, he's smashing the England bowlers everywhere in the West Indies. So he's a very exciting player. He's not really featured so far in the IPL. He's been doing it in the peripheries, in the other franchises around the world, in the T10 in Abu Dhabi. He smashes it everywhere. So I'm not surprised to see him involved. And it's quite a nice little payday for him as well. He may be the sort of player who actually wins more games than, say, a Pat Cummins or a Sam Curran, players like that. Because of the actual place he bats in the batting order, he'll go in at 5 or 6 in that key role. I think that Andre Russell sort of area and Kieron Pollard, that sort of finisher, the explosive hitting from the West Indies. Pollard and Russell haven't really delivered in the last couple of years. They're still good, but they're not as good as they were. Rovman Powell could be the guy to step into their shoes.
Yes, just to mention for our viewers, a couple of other big bids that have just been confirmed are Harshal Patel, of course, base price of 2 crores has gone for 11.75 crores for Punjab Kings. They seemed very, very determined to get Harshal Patel. Obviously, Indians are going to be in high demand. Gerald Kurtzi has gone to Mumbai Indians for 5 crores. Azmatullah Omarzai, base price of 50 lakh, has gone to Gujarat Titans. I think he was someone who did kind of, show exactly what he could do with the bat, looked very elegant batting. But I want to talk about, when we're talking about batting, I want to talk about Rachin Ravindra. He's gone to CSK for just 1.8 crores. And Graham, we were talking about Rachin Ravindra during the World Cup. He enthralled everybody with his finesse. Everybody was gaga over his batting. When he came up for the auction today, it almost seemed like nobody was going for him. And eventually, Chennai would be very happy with that price of 1.8 crores.
They'll be absolutely over the moon. I think that is possibly the steal of the auction so far. You're looking at a player with sort of renowned qualities, and I was with you. I thought that there'd be paddles up everywhere for him, but in the end, 1.8 crore, I think that is an absolute steal for him. So they'll be over the moon, Chennai, that they've managed to bag that. Very astute though, aren't they, Chennai? They always sort of keep their noses down and keep their heads under the radar. Stephen Fleming's a very astute man, so he'll be rubbing his hands together with glee right now, I think.
All right, Graham, stay